Hey guys, I'm Rich. Welcome to another Halo Reach action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Brute Major. Now, this is the first time this Covenant character has been around. It's actually really cool looking, except there's one thing I've noticed. You guys notice anything about his feet? Anything? Anything? He's missing a boot. I don't know what the heck is up with that. I never noticed that in the game. I was pulling him out of the packaging and I'm like, what the heck? Did they give me a right leg from a Brute Minor? But if you look on the packaging, son of a gun, he's got one boot and one without a boot. I don't know what the heck. That is really weird. Very weird. I never noticed that before. But other than that, it is a pretty cool looking character. I'm looking here on the packaging, and there's a lot more paint in the details. Like on the shoulder arm, you see there's like reds, and on the pelvis crotch piece, there's reds. But then when you look at the figure here, it's kind of very bland. But then you get the helmet and the chest piece do have colors. So I don't know if maybe somebody missed that step, or if that's just, you know, sometimes when they make the prototypes and they take the pictures of them, they don't look fully like that when you get them. And this would probably be the most blatant, obvious thing that I've seen with McFarlane. I don't think I've really noticed that with any of the figures. Once you got the figures on the packaging, the figures in hand usually looked almost identical. So that is kind of surprising with that. Now the boot thing, as far as not having the boot, I think this guy just didn't, he rushed out, he probably didn't even get to finish shaving and eating breakfast, and he had to run out to work to go try to kill some Spartans, and he just forgot to get his last shoe on. That's probably what happened. That makes sense. This figure here does come with two weapons, or two accessories, I should say. A Covenant Plasma Grenade, which he does not have anywhere on him to place, but he does include one, which is still cool. And then he also comes with a Spike Rifle. Now, the Spike Rifle here is a Brute weapon, and it's actually the only weapon out of all of the Halo Reach guns that is smaller than the Halo 3 versions. Now, the Halo 3 figure action line, if you didn't know, was actually figures, and they were in a smaller scale than the Reach figures are. And all the weapons, because all the figures grew, the weapons grew. But the Spike Rifle is the only one that actually got smaller. It did. It was a little bit difficult for me to get him to hold this weapon, but I was able to. The way that I did was I kind of got it looped in between, I got it like this, where I got the two top fingers, which I guess would be the index and the middle finger, those were used to put through the loop, while the pinky, or whatever other finger this would be, because he only has 3, would be to be on the outside of the gun. So that was the only way I could really get him to hold the weapon without kind of causing a lot of stress to the loop here. I didn't want this to break. Now this gun here is pretty cool looking. The paint job, of course, is still outstanding. The only downside to it is that unlike the Halo 3 versions, which had, you know, the spikes here were pointy, these have been rounded off, and so is actually the blade here on the back. And I don't know, I guess that's just kind of, I mean, I know they do it for safety issues because now they market these figures to 8-year-olds, 8 and up, but they used to do 14 and up, and then they had stuff that looked more realistic to being in the game as far as like the edges to the weapons and stuff, and they've kind of done away with some of that. It's just kind of, I don't know, I understand, but they got to do what they got to do, but at the same time it's kind of lame. But other than that, the helmet here of the figure is removable, and you can see his ugly, only mama would love face. But what's really cool about the head is that the mouth opens, so he can have a conversation with you. Yes. The only downside to the head, as far as articulation goes, is that it can't really rotate. It can look to the left and to the right a little bit, and down just a smidgen, but it really doesn't have a wide range of motion. So it is kind of a downside. Not much there. It's enough to notice, but it's not enough to really pose. Articulation for the arms. You can open the arms up about there. Then you can extend the arms. You can flip them mostly 360. Actually, you can go entire 360. Be careful. There we go. You have articulation here at the bicep, at the elbow, at the forearm where it can rotate. Then you also have the hand can rotate 360. The waist, not a whole lot of range of motion there either. Not much. Then you've got the hips, which not a whole lot, but there is enough there to kind of get them into different poses. Then the knee can rotate and can extend, and then you also have a ball joint here at the foot. which mine are just kind of tight, so that's the main reason why they're having a little bit of trouble. So you can't really get them in a ton of different poses, but I've seen some people take some pictures with brutes that looked outstanding, so you can do some pretty cool stuff. And obviously the whole thing with the boot, that wouldn't be McFarlane's fault. That would be, they're getting the actual CG files from Bungie at the time, and then from Microsoft, to make these figures. So it wasn't as if they kind of made changes or anything like that. That would be something that Bungie had done originally. So if you don't really like the boot, that's kind of the way that I guess it is in the game. I've never really noticed that. I can't believe I didn't notice. That'd be kind of silly not to notice, but yeah, okay. So overall, I'd probably give him a 4 out of 5. I like the sculpt. The paint job is kind of not as up to McFarlane's standard as usual. The rounded weapons kind of is a little bit irritating, and the fact he can't really move his head a whole lot kind of bugs me. But it does have a moving jaw, which I still think is one of the coolest things that they've added to the brutes, is that they could move their mouths. That's awesome. So overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. If you're interested in picking up one of these figures and you can't find one in your area, you guys can go down to the link in the description. It'll take you to a site called entertainmentearth.com where you can buy it. They do ship international, so that is cool. So if you live outside of the country, out of the U.S., you're golden. Kind of like this guy. Yay, I made a pun. I'm funny. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, commenting, subscribing. Talk to you guys all later, and let me know what you think down in the comment section about this guy. There are a couple of faults in my eyes, but, sometimes maybe you guys think, hey, there's no faults whatsoever and he deserves to be a 5 out of 5. Yeah, let me know. Alright, guys, talk to you all later. See ya.